Welcome back to Biblical Greek Tidbits. There are only two Greek words that are translated with the English words I love in the Greek New Testament. The lexical forms of these two Greek verbs are agapao and phileo. A third Greek verb for I love, stergo, is used in the form of an alpha privative in Romans 1:31 and 2 Timothy 3:3. Also, stergo is used as a compound word with phileo in Romans 12:10. We will take a look at these verses in later slides. The Greek word stergo in the forms storge, storgain, and storge occurs 4 times in the Septuagint books of 3rd and 4th Maccabees. We will not discuss or consider these Septuagint occurrences in this presentation. A fourth word for sexual love, eros, does not have a corresponding Greek word in the Septuagint or the Greek New Testament as far as I know. Here's a list of references used for this presentation. If you want to take a closer look, please pause the video. The following definitions are taken from reference 2. Words in italics following the definitions are glosses. Note, a gloss is a summary of the meaning of a word rather than a full definition. Agapao, to have a warm regard for and interest in another, cherish, have affection for, love. 2. To have a high esteem for or satisfaction with something, take pleasure in. 3. To practice/express love, prove one's love. Agape, noun form. 1. The quality of warm regard for and interest in another, esteem, affection, regard, love. 2. A common meal eaten by early Christians in connection with their worship for the purpose of fostering and expressing mutual affection and concern. Fellowship, meal, a love feast. Agapitos, adjectival verbal form, pertaining to one who is in a very special relationship with another, only beloved. 2. Pertaining to one who is dearly loved, dear, beloved, prized, valued. Phileo, verb form. 1. To have a special interest in someone or something, frequently with focus on a close association. Have affection for, like, consider someone a friend. 2. To kiss as a special indication of affection, kiss. Philos, adjectival form. 1. Pertaining to having a special interest in someone. 2. One who is on intimate terms or in close association with another, friend, man. Note, phile, friend, woman. Stergo, verb form derived from storgo. To have a benevolent interest in or concern for, love, feel affection for, be kindly affectioned to. Next, we will look at some verbal occurrences of agapao in the Greek New Testament. In Matthew 5:43, the verb agapesis is second person singular, future active indicative of agapao. The ESV translation is, "You have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy." In Matthew 5:44, the first part of the verse, the verb agapate is second person plural, present active imperative of agapao. The ESV translation is, but I say to you, love your enemies. In Matthew 5:46, the first part of the verse, there are two occurrences of the verb, of some form of the verb agapao. The first occurrence, agapisite, is second person plural aorist active subjunctive of agapao. The second occurrence is the verb agapondos, or the participle agapondos, and which is the present active participle masculine plural accusative of agapao. The ESV translation is, for if you love those who love you, what reward do you have? In Mark 12:33, the first part, agapon, is the present active infinitive of agapao. The ESV translation is, and to love him with all the heart and with all the understanding and with all the strength. In Romans 9:25b, we have agapimenin, which occurs twice, and it is the perfect middle passive participle feminine of agapao. The ESV translation of this part of the verse is, those who were not my people I will call my people, and her who was not beloved I will call beloved. In Galatians 2:20b, we have the aorist active participle masculine singular genitive of agapao, which is agapisandos. The ESV translation of this portion of the verse is, in the life I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. In 2 Timothy 4:8b, we have agapikasin, which is the perfect active participle masculine plural dative of agapao. The ESV translation of this portion of the verse is, and not only to me, but also to all who have loved his appearing. Next, we look at the substantival or noun occurrences of agape in the Greek New Testament. In Matthew 24, verse 12, we have the feminine singular nominative of agape. The ESV translation is, and because lawlessness will be increased, the love of many will grow cold. In John 15, verse 13a, we have agape used in the accusative form, feminine singular accusative of agape, which is agapine. The ESV translation is, greater love has no one than this. In Romans 8:35a, we have agapes, which is the feminine singular genitive form of agape. The ESV translation is, who shall separate us from the love of Christ? In 1 Timothy 4:12b, we have the dative form of agape, and the ESV translation is, but set the believers an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, in purity. Next, we look at a few adjectival-verbal occurrences of agapao, which is agapitos. Note, other verbal adjectives besides agapitos ending in tos in the Greek New Testament are synetos, aristos, opsistos, etc. See page 47 and 48 of reference 3 for others. In Matthew 3:17b, we have agapitos used in the masculine singular nominative form. The ESV translation is, this is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. In Mark 12:6a, we have the accusative form, in fact, masculine singular accusative of agapitos, which is agapiton. The ESV translation of this verse is, he had still one other, a beloved son. In 1 Corinthians 15:58a, we have the plural, the masculine plural vocative of agapitos, which is agapiti. The ESV translation is, therefore, my beloved brothers, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. In Ephesians 5:1, we have the neuter plural nominative of agapitos, which is agapita. ESV translation, therefore be imitators of God as beloved children. Next, we look at the verbal occurrences of the Greek verb phileo. In Matthew 6, verse 5a, we have the third person plural present active indicative of phileo, which is philousin. The ESV translation is, and when you pray, you must not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and at the street corners. In Matthew 10, verse 37a, we have the present active participle masculine singular nominative of phileo, which is philon. ESV translation, whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. In Mark 14:44b, we have the first person singular aorist active subjunctive of phileo, which is philiso. ESV translation, the one I will kiss is the man. In Luke 20, verse 46a, we have the present active participle masculine plural genitive of phileo, which is philundon. The ESV translation is, beware of the scribes who like to walk around in long robes and love greetings in the marketplaces. Continuing with verbal occurrences of the Greek verb phileo, we have in Luke 22:47a the aorist active infinitive of phileo, which is philise. The ESV translation, he drew near to Jesus to kiss him. In John 16:27, we have the second person plural perfect active indicative of phileo, which is pephilikate. The ESV translation is, for the Father himself loves you, because you have loved me and have believed that I came from God. In John 11:36, we have the third person singular imperfect active indicative of phileo, which is ephili. The ESV translation is, so the Jews said, see how he loved him. In Titus 3:15b, we have present active participle masculine plural accusative of phileo, which is philundos. The ESV translation is, greet those who love us in the faith. Note, phileo is used as a combined word with the preposition kata phileo, in several New Testament verses. For example, Matthew 26:49, Luke 15:20, and Acts 20:37. And this means to kiss. Kata phileo means to kiss. From Romans 3:3, we find an alpha privative word that combines phileo and agathos, aphilogathy, meaning not loving good. Next, we look at some adjectival/substantival occurrences of philos. In Matthew 11:19c, we have the masculine singular nominative of philos. ESV translation, a friend of tax collectors and sinners. In Luke 11:5b, we have the masculine singular vocative of philos, which is phile. ESV translation, friend, lend me 3 loaves. In John 15:13, we have the masculine plural genitive of philos, which is philon. ESV translation, greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends. In 3 John 15, we have 2 occurrences. The first occurrence is the masculine plural nominative of philos, which is phili, and the second occurrence is the masculine plural accusative of philos, which is philus. ESV translation, peace be to you, the friends greet you, greet the friends, each by name. Note, on the following slide we have a list of combination words that begin with prefix phil. These were found using Accordance Bible software searches. See reference 1. Here's a list of occurrences of Greek New Testament combination words with prefix phil, except proper names and the word philostoroi. We will look at this word philostoroi in a later slide. If you want to take a closer look at this slide, please pause the video. Note, as mentioned before, there are 2 occurrences of the alpha privative for stergo in Romans 1:31 and 2 Timothy 3:3. It is used as a combined word with phileo in Romans 12:10. Note, an alpha privative is a Greek word preceded by an alpha or on in the case of a word that begins with a vowel, negating the sense of the word without the alpha or on. In Romans 1:31, we have the masculine plural accusative of astargo, which is derived from astergo. This is astorgus. The ESV translation, foolish, faithless, heartless, ruthless. Note, all 4 Greek words in this verse are alpha privatives. In 2 Timothy 3:3, we have the masculine plural nominative of astargo, which is derived from astergo. This is astoryi. The ESV translation is heartless, unappeasable, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not loving good. Note, all Greek words in this verse except the third, the avoli, are alpha privatives. In Romans 12:10a, we have the masculine plural nominative of philostorgos, which is philostoryi. The ESV translation, love one another with brotherly affection. We have looked briefly at the 2 Greek verbs translated as I love in first person singular usage, agapao and phileo, that appear in the Greek New Testament. We have also looked at a 3rd Greek word, I love, stergo, that appears in the Greek New Testament only as an alpha privative and also as a combined word with the 2 words phileo and stergo. It is clear from the BDAG definitions that there is overlap between the verbs agapao and phileo. We can see this, for example, in John 16:27, the Father phileu, loves you, and Galatians 2:20, the Son of God who agapisendos me, loved me. I especially recommend reading reference 5, C.S. Lewis's The 4 Loves. He draws really fine distinctions and commonalities between the 4 Greek words translated as the English word love, which he calls affection, Ancient Greek storge, friendship, Ancient Greek philia, eros, Ancient Greek eros, and charity, Ancient Greek agape. To quote C.S. Lewis, the natural loves are summoned to become modes of charity while also remaining the natural loves they were. Charity does not dwindle into merely natural love, but natural love is taken up into, made the tuned and obedient instrument of, love himself. See page 171, reference 5. Thank you for watching this presentation. As usual, I defer to real scholars on all matters of biblical Greek.